Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Derek Roush with VocalPoint Consulting and welcome to What's the Point? Today we've got a really cool discussion with a company that a lot of you guys probably already know because they're the 900-pound gorilla out there in unified communications, and that's Avaya. So Avaya brings a lot of heat in the industry, but they've also had some ups and downs. So today we get to talk to couple of guys. We're going to get to talk to Steve Forkum, who is a cloud technologist over at Avaya. He's going to kind of help us understand what that roadmap looks like and some of the technology that Avaya is pumping out today. And then we're also going to talk with Chris Ferrara, and Chris is the Florida Cloud Channel Manager. Mouthful, I know. But these guys bring a lot of great insight, and I hope you really enjoy the discussion today. So let's jump right into it. Okay, guys, we're going to get started here. I've got today Steve Forkum from Avaya, as well as Chris Ferrara. Steve is a cloud technologist over there at Avaya, and Chris is one of the Florida Cloud Channel Managers. I know that's a mouthful, so I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of jump into this discussion. So Chris, take it away.
So yeah, Chris Ferrara, I'm the Avaya Cloud CAM, Channel Account Manager for Florida. Been with Avaya for just under 4 years, and in the industry, in the equipment world, if you will, and now, of course, cloud since 1999.
And Steve, how about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Steve Forkum. I am a technologist with Avaya. I've been with the company for about 10 years. Prior to that, I worked for a couple of our business partners, and before that, I was a customer. So I've been in and around the product set for probably about 20 years or so. And it's been an interesting ride. The last 3 years, I've specifically been a part of our little startup inside of the company, focusing on public cloud services. So really exciting time. Happy to be here.
Well, that's awesome. I'm really thrilled that you guys were able to jump into this discussion with us. You know, a lot of people out there in our industry, they know the Avaya name. And, you know, with that comes some of the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I mean, we've all been in this industry for a while, and we've gone through some ups and downs. But Avaya is really hitting it strong right now with their cloud play. And that's kind of what I wanted to hit on with you guys today. So kind of like, what does that roadmap look for or look like from Avaya? You know, what are we looking at for the near future? So Steve, I don't know if you want to jump in and kind of give us that 10,000 foot view of maybe where Avaya comes from, the heritage, and then where that roadmap looks like it's going to end up, say 5-10 years down the road here.
Yeah, sure. So what we're really looking to do is to give our customers a path to the cloud that makes sense for them. And part of that is creating easily digestible cloud services. And this is really where we stand apart from the market, is that a lot of cloud vendors can do one thing, right? So some of the guys just do unified communications. Some of them say, hey, we're just a contact center service. And then there's, you know, the others that are the API guys that say, hey, just come build whatever you want. And our approach is to kind of take a cover all the bases strategy. So we have a cloud-based unified communication service that we're going to talk about today. We have a cloud-based contact center service. We also have a bunch of other cloud-based services that complement that whole portfolio. And what our customers tell us is once they move to cloud for one of these services, they quickly realize that it wasn't a destination, it was a pit stop on their journey, because there's so many more things that you can do once you get into cloud that will solve business challenges inside of your organization. So the value that we bring is having everything under one roof with one hand to shake for service, eliminates the multi-vendor headache, and it just makes an impact in your organization that much faster and that much easier.
Cool. So with regard to your cloud strategy, being Avaya, What does that look like now? Because there's a lot of chatter in the industry right now about this whole collaboration with RingCentral. And, I'm sure a lot of customers that are out there right now looking at Avaya, or perhaps they've, got a premise-based Avaya system. And they're going, okay, what now? Especially in the, this day and age with this pandemic, right? Everything's shifting to a work from home strategy. So where does Avaya come in, and what does that relationship with RingCentral look like right now?
Yeah,
So
sure.
I'll handle that if you don't mind. We're really excited about the partnership, and I like to explain it as just that, a partnership, right? This was announced back in September, October, and not a merge, not an acquisition, a partnership of sorts between two global leaders, right? Derek, I like to call it a best of breed partnership, right? So you're talking about Avaya, right? The dominant player in the Fortune 100. Number two global UC, number one global CC, the largest install base right in the world, has partnered with the leader in public cloud, right? The furthest in that right-hand quadrant, and that's where RingCentral sits. So I think what we bring to the table are synergies between the two organizations, to not only give our customers, which 100 plus million seats, global seats, heck, 24, 25 million IP office or mid-market seats, give those customers a compelling platform to migrate when the time comes, when they see that they need to make that migration to cloud. Give them a compelling platform for migration, and then also a larger addressable market, right? So I like to say that it takes us now via this partnership from maybe the public cloud players that maybe in the past been the perception was maybe an SMB or mid-market space. I think now with this partnership and these synergies, we can take it from really a customer from 2 seats to thousands of seats, the true enterprise. And I think that's what this partnership does. It brings expertise from a global player like Avaya, a 100-plus-year-old company going back to the Bell Lab days, and couple them with the leader in public cloud. So we're really excited about this partnership and really starting to see the synergies that the two organizations bring to the table. But I think more than anything else, it really gives us an extremely compelling offer for customers and for existing customers and new customers.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chris. So let me ask you this. For somebody, let's say somebody's out there today and they're sitting on an IP office, an Avaya IP office. It's maybe 6-8 years old, but it works, right? Nothing's wrong with it. It works and it'll keep working. But what's the incentive for them to now move to, say, the Avaya Cloud services?
I can jump on that one if you want. I mean, I think the whole it works was exposed as a result of COVID. There was a lot of folks who resisted investing in their on-premise phone system because, to your point, it just worked. When I pick up a desk phone, I get dial tone and it just works. But when everybody overnight had to move from their offices to their homes, that was where we realized it didn't work. A lot of the folks had missing pieces that were required for a work from home strategy. The ability to have all of your users leverage a soft client on your computer, or to have a desk phone in their home offices. That adds a whole nother degree of difficulty because a lot of those required a hardwired connection. Well, maybe your cable modem wasn't in your home office. Maybe it's in the basement. How do you deal with that? And then, in today's video, work from home world, we're more dependent on conferencing services than ever. And a lot of those customers either didn't have conferencing services, they've gone out and bought conferencing services from a publicly available, conferencing player. And because they're so expensive, you can't really achieve the right scale for work from home. Everybody needs a meeting bridge to be able to host video conferences on the fly, to share desktops and such. So that's really where the value for that type of a customer who, I've got an old, phone system, I don't care what brand or model or make it is, and it's been on site, I've had it for years, it just works, but what do I do now? By moving to the cloud, you get so much more functionality. that's built for today's modern workforce, the ability to work from wherever you are, no matter what device you have, no matter what network it's connected to. The ability to have the email model for voice. Email is easy because it's simple. One user has one email address that just works on all of your devices. Inbound emails are on everything. You can start an email on one device, send it on a different device, and it doesn't show the device's ID. It shows the person's ID of who sent it. But voice was always so different. Voice, every device had its own phone number, its own capabilities. So, you can't send a text message from your office phone. You can't, have a really long phone call on your cell phone because either the battery's going to die or the thing's going to get hot as lava and you're not going to want to have it next to your face. So what we've done with cloud and what that type of a customer will realize is the ability to have one number that synchronizes across all of your devices. So inbound calls ring on everything. Outbound calls can be handed off from a device to a device instantly. And then take that a step farther, that one number is available for all services. So if you want to send a text message to a customer, you don't have to use your cell phone. You can do it through your corporate cloud subscription. And what that means is when you start a conversation on your cell phone, because you're on the go, when you get back to the office, you can continue it using the full keyboard mouse, and it looks like you're using your cell phone. So it creates that synergy, and it creates some simplicity for users to be able to communicate how they want, where they are, no matter what device they have in front of them. And then finally, the last part that's bundled in is the meetings. Meetings are no longer optional. So with a cloud-based service, every user has their own video conferencing bridge that allows you to see everybody in high definition, share your desktop out, and to actually get work done without having to try and find an open bridge. In the old days, when you had a meeting, the hard part was finding a meeting room. Everybody came to the same building, but we had to still find a room, and they were all booked. Fast forward to web conferencing, like I said, that type of a customer may have bought 5 accounts or 10 accounts. So now instead of trying to find a room, you're trying to find a bridge. Who has an open bridge that I can use? That's too slow in today's fast-paced world. So with a cloud-based service, you're going to get a ton of benefit, and the unspoken part of it is you can actually save a ton of money when you move to cloud as well.
So Steve, are we talking about a WebRTC session, or is this an application that you guys are going to be rolling out with RingCentral, that collaboration? What's that going to look like?
Both. See all the above. So there's an actual app that you can install on all your devices, computer, tablet, cell phone, Windows or Mac, doesn't matter. iOS or Android, doesn't matter. Or if you want to work in a thin client environment, so we support the protocols like you described, WebRTC. So you can do everything right from a browser if you would rather do that. So if you're using Chromebooks, or if you live in the browser with things like Salesforce and G Suite, everything else, this can be just another tab that runs in the background. So it's an all of the above approach to making collaboration happen.
So let me ask you this. I see in the industry right now a lot of these contact centers having to shift, right? Because instead of all these cubicles that are so close together, now with the old social distancing, we've got to push people either further away from one another or to their home office. So you're seeing a lot of contact centers move to this work from home model. How does that play in the Avaya space today? Because I know Avaya has been, a lot of our customers are still on Avaya Prem systems with their contact center because you guys have been the 900-pound gorilla in the world contact center industry, or the global industry. What does it look like now to, say, move a contact center agent to a home office? How easy is that going to be in the Avaya world?
Yeah, so actually there's 2 pieces I want to touch on that. So first is the fact that we have our own cloud contact center product. It's called Avaya CCaaS. So we can turn an agent up in the cloud, and they can log into a single website, and they'll be able to handle customer requests that come in via voice, via email, via web chat, or via social media. And I think I missed one. Email, web chat, social media, and SMS, sorry. So it's a multi-channel service, so customers can contact you how you want to be contacted, But to your point, the agents no longer, location doesn't matter anymore to the agents. It's all driven through the cloud. And while an agent's on a phone call, we can actually use speech analytics to transcribe in real time the conversation and to look for certain keywords or phrases that maybe we can suggest answers to the agent in their desktop, or we can notify a supervisor that a call needs attention. But then you hit on a really important point. The contact center agent needs more than just a contact center service. What happens when an agent needs help? What happens when they need a question answered by an expert? Well, in an office environment, a lot of times that answer is a cubicle or two away. But in a work from home environment, you're by yourself. So how do you get that answer? And therein lies the marriage of what we're doing with our partners at RingCentral to create a unified communication solution and what we've built using Avaya technology for contact center. So the agents are not only handling your customers across any channel that they want to communicate on, they also have an amazing service to be able to reach out to the experts and to bring them into these sessions so they can create a true, what we call multi-experience world, where it's a seamless environment for your customer to get connected to the frontline support user, the agent, and then the agent has the ability to use their lifelines and phone a friend and bring them into these sessions. So this way, it's a truly collaborative approach to solving a customer's problem. And this is really where the value of what Avaya brings to cloud comes to bear. Like I said, there's a lot of companies that do one thing. There's a few that do a couple of things. At Avaya, we have a whole portfolio of cloud services that help you solve these challenges and then some. And having one hand to shake is extremely valuable for your organization because you don't have those multi-vendor headaches of, well, it's not working because them. It's not working because of those guys. It's not working because this piece is missing. Everything comes back through one vendor, and it really takes advantage of the innovation that we've been driving over the years.
Yeah, got it. Thanks, Steve. That's really good, valuable information. So let me ask you this. I see some clients out there today that maybe have that Avaya Aura Prem system. And they've got, say, like an InContact or a 5.9 layered on top of it. What do you say to that client? I mean, how do they make that pivot to the home worker? And where's Avaya in that mix?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, first off, I won't judge. If you tried to, experiment a little bit with other folks in the cloud, hey, it's one of those things that I think a lot of those customers that have moved to these other services are quickly realizing the amount of challenge in doing a platform change and trying to understand how to mirror or rebuild your workflows that your business is dependent on in these services and trying to work around the obstacles of missing functionality and missing features becomes a key challenge. And Avaya having a cloud-based contact center service allows you to stay current, but also stay comfortable with what you're used to. So our cloud-based service is based off of our award-winning, industry-leading technology, Contact Center Elite, CMS. It's leveraging the patents that Avaya has, developed over, decades of experience in this space. There's a reason why we own the contact center space, and the world's contact centers, basically run on our service because we have, amazing technology that's patented that a lot of our competitors can be frustrated trying to mimic or copy. So for a lot of those customers who have moved to those services, we now have options that you can move to an Avaya-based service that gives you the ability to keep the call flows that you've built over the years and layer on innovation in addition to it versus trying to reinvent the wheel that you discovered a few years ago. That's really our key sauce there for our customers, is the ability to have something that's consistent with what they're used to and then leverage new innovation to accelerate even faster versus trying to relearn what you already know.
So if I hear what you're saying correctly, then what I think you're saying, Steve, is that you're giving that client a roadmap to say, let's converge those services. Maybe you're having some issues with your current contact center platform, or maybe there's some little things that it doesn't do that you want it to do. you're saying Avaya is going to give you a roadmap to kind of converge those services into one platform. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah. So from a micro perspective with the contact center specifically, a lot of those contact centers want to start supporting their customers via different channels. I want to do more than just allow people to call me. I want to have email. I want to have web chat. So, adding those services in an on-premise world can be sometimes cost prohibitive, especially for, a medium-sized organization, because you potentially are going to end up with more servers than you have employees to be able to do this type of thing. So cloud is incredibly powerful there. The second value that customers will find in the cloud is the ability to what I call fail fast. Sometimes you look at it and you say, well, I want to build this because I think my customers want this. But what happens if your theory is not necessarily correct? Well, in an on-premise world, you build it, you can't return it, you can't turn it off, you own it. In a cloud-based world, you can start to innovate, you can start to experiment, and if something isn't quite, embraced by your customers, you simply turn it off and you move on to the next idea. And that's one of the values of what you can have in cloud, is it gives you the ability to innovate at a much faster pace with much less risk than you used to have to deal with in the on-prem world. And then the third thing that customers are typically looking to a Avaya Cloud Contact Center for help with is lowering wait times in queue without hiring more agents. That's the nirvana for a call center. The most expensive part of a call center is the agent themselves.
And so how is
And
Avaya achieving that then, Steve?
Yeah, great question. So what we're doing is we're leveraging artificial intelligence to assist the agent. So I mentioned conversational intelligence. While you're on a phone call with a customer, instead of the agent hearing what the customer describes, digesting it, and then going out and looking for the answer is brought to their fingertips. So conversational intelligence hears the question, it dips into the knowledge base and instantly pops up on the agent desktop. This could be the answer. Position this. It also gives you back time after each call. In today's contact center world, after every phone call, the agent's job is to answer phone calls. But after every call, they don't do that, because what ends up happening is they spend so much time documenting what just happened on that call in your CRM. Important stuff, but it causes wait times to back up. So with conversational intelligence, what we can do is we can integrate it with your CRM. So if you're using Salesforce, at the end of every call, the transcription goes into the customer record, and the agent types up something that looks like a tweet instead of a novel, and then they get back into queue. So we can save on average 30 seconds to almost a minute and a half after every phone call. So just imagine what that can do with the compounding returns of that time. Your agents are getting back into queue faster. They're actually enjoying their jobs because they're solving customer problems in a much faster way. And when the answer requires an expert, our back-end collaboration tools give the agent the ability to have those experts right away. It literally is that lifeline of phone a friend, because I have access to all of my experts. I can message them. I can conference them. I can video with them. I could potentially create a session between the agent, the customer, and the expert, all with a single click. So it's extremely powerful, and it helps drive down wait times in queue, which drives up customer loyalty, customer success, and frankly, revenues.
So is that AI engine actually tracking customer sentiment real time to be able to coach the agent? Because we've seen some of that going on in the industry, and there's some software companies popping up that can kind of be layered into the contact center. But is that part of the piece that you guys are picking up?
Correct. So we have an all of the above approach towards artificial intelligence. So the version that we have in our contact center today is just doing a speech-to-text transcription in real time and looking for keywords and phrases. But we also have a partnership with other AI providers, and one of them we've actually invested in. It's a company called Cogito. And with our
I know
on-premise
Cogito,
services, there you go. So we actually are a minority investor in there, and we have the ability with our on-prem gear to leverage them in. So it's not just what was said, but how it was said. So we can hear the difference between that's great and, well, that's great. The transcript is going to show basically the same thing, but Cogito can kind of understand the difference in pitch, speed, volume. So this way you can further coach the agent, and you can also get supervisors onto calls that need attention in real time instead of catching them in call recordings days, weeks, or months later. Cogito and other AI services will be added to our contact center in the cloud over time. Right now, the first one that we've added from an AI perspective is our own service, Conversational Intelligence.
So I know Cogito from, some past dealings, but from my perspective, Cogito really only wanted to deal with the really, really large contact centers. So with your partnership with a company like Cogito, are you going to be able to get that down to, say, a smaller contact center? Maybe that's somebody that's only got 100, 200, 300 agents. Is that going to be something that's going to be accessible through Avaya?
I would say stay tuned. So we've been working with some of these AI players to help them scale downward or to kind of help them address the overall breadth and depth of our contact center market. It's no secret we have the largest contact centers under our platforms. So, that's where a lot of the upstart or the newer AI contact centers focus on, is servicing the Avaya base because it's got such large customers in it. But a lot of our AI partners are also focusing on going down market with their solutions. So another example, not cloud-based, but on-premise, is Affinity. So their artificial intelligence is used to better identify why someone is called into the queue and to better connect them with the right agent that can service their call. So originally they started same type of thing where it's just a solution for the largest of large call centers. But at our Engage conference 3 months ago, they also unveiled that they've created a more scalable solution. So starting with 50 agents up, it's a product called Affinity Arrow. Again, not a cloud-based service yet, but we'd like to potentially see that down the road as well. So it's just an example that artificial intelligence is quickly growing in not just its capabilities, but its availability for customers of almost every size.
Yeah, that's great information. I love it. So one of the things I want to touch on, since we're kind of in that contact center vein and discussion a little bit, is, in some of the industries that I'm a part of, I see a lot of these contact center managers that say they used to have, say, 200-300 agents sitting in front of them, and it's easy to manage people you can see. Now that we're moving to this work from home model, what does it look like from the supervisor perspective, and how easy is it to manage people?
It's a breeze. So we actually have a new analytics package that we've added to our contact center as a service. So the agent or the supervisor has an entire dashboard so they can keep track of their entire contact center, even though, to your point, everybody's working from home. I can't physically see them. I can actually see how the call center is performing. I can dive into different analytics to identify how is this agent performing, how is this queue performing, what is going on with, why do we have a large number of abandoned calls on this particular skill or this particular call center. So you can really dive in as a supervisor and see in real time what's going on with your call center. And you can also generate an ungodly amount of data from a historical perspective to start identifying trends, to start better scheduling your users, and to basically just take control of your call center right from your PC that's sitting in your house.
So you're basically saying you guys can do some of that workforce management, but also even a little further into the workforce optimization part of it, right?
Mm-hmm. So workforce optimization is included with Avaya CCaaS. So, call recordings, screen recordings, quality management, all baked in. And we have a partner for workforce management. If somebody is looking to take that next step and to dive into a full WFM solution, we have that as an option with Avaya CCaaS as well.
That's awesome. So Steve or even Chris, if you guys want to chime in, maybe some last parting, tidbits of information, where Avaya is going to be going over the next several years, anything that you want to leave off with here.
Yeah, I'll just say we are rapidly accelerating in cloud, and we're creating paths for our customers to not only take the first step on that journey, but also have the second, third, fourth, and fifth steps afterwards. There's a whole host of other products that we didn't get a chance to talk about today. Things like cloud-based IVR, that integrates with Google Dialogflow, our cloud-based notification system, which allows you to notify your users and customers and patients instantly via voice and SMS. We see the real value of what we're doing in the cloud space is giving our customers tools that solve business problems and the ability to consume them in the way that makes sense for their organization. You know, at a unified communications perspective, we've partnered with RingCentral because we wanted to basically find a unified communications platform that we could build on top of. And that's really what we've done with our partners at Ring, is been a joint developed solution. So we take the best of what they do, this platform that's multi-tenanted, highly available, global reach, feature rich, and we blend that with Avaya innovation in terms of our devices, our features that we're porting from our on-premise PBXs, and our services team. And then the services team becomes the crucial keystone. That's the biggest benefit of what we do at, the UC layer, but also across our entire cloud portfolio. We have a team of experts that supports you no matter what service you have from us. And if you have multiple services from us, it eliminates that multi-vendor headache. You're not getting this from this guy, this from this guy, and this from this guy, having multiple contracts to manage, having multiple points of contact to call when something goes wrong. It's one hand to shake service. So you're focused on making an impact in your business instead of trying to manage the systems that are behind the scenes. That's the whole point of cloud.
Cool. And Chris, anything you want to leave off with, or maybe give a plug to the channel side of the business here at Avaya?
Yeah, and just really maybe to the differentiator, right? So I get a lot of questions on how are you different? Excuse me. What I'm a RingCentral customer, or what's going to be different between the RingCentral offer, the RingCentral Office, and the Avaya Cloud Office. And this is the part that we feel we bring to the table is the Avaya Pro Services story, the Avaya Pro Services team, or what we call our customer success teams. Those are going to be the folks that will be onboarding our customers, that will be supporting our customers. So we feel that maybe is part of a differentiator for us. And to Steve's point, using the core technology that Ring has brought to the industry, that is a market leader in that regard, and then bringing what we have done traditionally really well, world-class global pro services. And I think we feel that's very important. We're very proud of what we've done over the last, countless years. But our pro services teams, our innovation that we bring to the table as well, right? So you're going to see long-range roadmap items for integrations to existing premise infrastructure, right? For Avaya customers that maybe have made investments in what we call B2 chassis. IP Office customers out there would know what that is.
Yep.
Even maybe on the Avaya CM, what we call the Avaya branch. Again, long-range roadmaps, bring your innovations to the table where we can leverage a hybrid cloud solution. Look, we want to be able to provide paths of the cloud that's gonna fit the customer, right? That's going to give them the that most logical journey that makes sense for their business. And again, not only offering true public cloud, but again, to belabor the point, long-range roadmaps to hybrid. Use the existing infrastructure at the very least for local survivable gateways, right? So again, we want to differentiate ourselves in the market by our expertise, by our innovation, and by our pro services.
That's awesome. I appreciate that, Chris. And so that kind of gives us a little bit of a, insight into that roadmap and what it's going to look like down the road. Guys, I really appreciate y'all jumping in here. I think a lot of clients right now, from what we're seeing, probably 80% of them have kind of put a Band-Aid on things right now to move to this work from home solution. But I think you're going to see a lot of customers revisiting this come the fall or the winter time of 2020 here, and trying to say, okay, now how do we develop this disaster recovery and business continuity plan so that we're not caught off guard again, right?
And to do it more efficiently from a cost perspective.
Exactly.
That's the key. A lot of customers just basically stop the bleeding. What do I need to do to kind of fix this problem to get my people working from home? And to your point, now, how do I build a strategy that my organization can leverage, digest, and frankly afford.
Yeah.
And that's really going to be one of those areas that we see a lot of value in this partnership with Ring, because we can talk to a customer who has a phone system, they're paying maintenance, they're paying for the phone line service, maybe they're paying for a messaging service, maybe they're paying for a video conferencing service. You know, the question really becomes, are those things worth paying twice for? Because you get those with a cloud-based service like Avaya Cloud Office by RingCentral. You get calling, you get messaging, you get meetings. So you can actually save a lot of money by turning off these extra, over-the-top services and leveraging something that not only is bundled from a cost perspective, but to your point, more tightly integrated. So it actually makes work less work for your users when they're working from home or working from anywhere.
And then also giving IT leaders flexibility to pivot their workforce. I know we've kind of mentioned that, but the flexibility in a solution where we have to get from brick and mortar to remote to teleworker type scenarios. And really in our cloud offers, it is the flexibility in that quick pivot. And it is really about getting the workforce home, getting them set up on a Wi-Fi, on a laptop, as I'm working on now. So the flexibility in the cloud solution that our ACO offer brings to the table, again, really helping our IT leaders in pivoting in times of crisis.
Wow, I don't know about you guys, but for me and for what we do here at VocalPoint Consulting, that was a really insightful conversation. So look, if you've got questions about, say, your Avaya Prem system today and what to do with it, or maybe you're just trying to figure out a cloud strategy and trying to figure out the whole work from home paradigm shift, call us here at VocalPoint Consulting. We can get you in touch with guys like Avaya, plus over 250 other suppliers that we work with. And we work with a slew of them just so that we can be independent and be your voice in the industry. So look, call us, reach out to us at that number above my head here, or hit us up on our website. We'd be happy to talk to you and help you through and figure out a path to get from point A to point B. My name is Derek Roush, and that's the point.